Hello, I'm Brian Hipp, and my business news article was on Geno's, and it's talked about the employee engagement and the morale of a company and how it links to the productivity of a company, the overall morale of a company, employee retention, and customer and employee satisfaction. The first thing we're going to talk about is issues that are facing many businesses today. It was reported in the article that it's very hard for companies to keep their top talent due to unmotivation. It said 30 to 40% of the U.S. workers in the top, this was surveyed of their top employees, 30 to 40% of those workers were planning to look for new jobs within the next 6 months, which even in these hard economic times, it shows you that people, even being unmotivated in these hard economic times, are still looking for jobs, even though jobs are hard to get. This is a result of higher stress levels, being overworked because of the many cost cuts and layoffs that have been around the country with the recession. It also shows that that employees are looking to quit. It's said up to 35% of employees that were surveyed were saying that they were thinking of quitting, and this is up substantially since early 2010. So it's continuing and growing, the employees that are wanting to quit because of being unmotivated. The article talks about some ways that you can motivate your employees successfully, and it talks about employee engagement and engaging your employees within the business, challenging them, getting them involved more, and it says that it drives productivity, performance, and profitability for the company if these employees are properly engaged in the company and their morality goes up and they're motivated. It also creates your top employees' retention. It helps keep them motivated to work for you instead of looking for a new job. This is important for business growth. Some of the examples that the news article gave was providing better career opportunities, providing more leadership roles, and providing a better atmosphere for for employees to be happy at work. This is a huge motivating factor for employees wanting to be at work. Implementing these when done pays big dividends for companies, so this is very important that companies motivate employees correctly. The book also mentions some good motivation techniques, and there's 3 of them here. Need for achievement, and with the need for achievement, it's challenging the employees, setting reachable goals, and letting them overcome difficulties. If you give them goals that they can reach and they can attain, this once they meet those goals, they feel like they've accomplished something and they've helped the company, and this keeps them motivated and they feel like they're helping the company out. Feeling challenged, they feel like they're getting something out of the job, and it keeps them motivated. If they're doing the same thing over and over and they don't feel like their job means anything, then they're not going to be motivated to do it well. The need for power is another one. They want the desire to influence others, to make a difference or to change people or events. When people are in power, they feel it just helps them motivated, and they feel they don't want to change jobs because they don't feel like they don't have anybody underneath them or their job doesn't mean anything. When they have power, they have someone underneath them and they're telling someone what to do, they're motivated, and it helps them. And the last is the need for affliction or relationships with others, and this is just business relationships, having a good good relationships with your business workers, not everybody fighting and people talking behind people's backs. Good relationships with your other employees is very important for motivation. And the next is stress. that is associated with motivation. And there's good stress that's associated with motivation, and that's the stress that comes from being challenged. And when you're challenged, your stress helps you overcome those challenges. It heightens your senses and helps you overcome those challenges. But there can also be distress with motivation, and this is when managers put too much pressure on employees or give them too many responsibilities or goals that cannot be reached. And when those goals can't be reached, the employees they reach distress because they're just not able to reach it, and it's actually negative, and it creates frustration and fear for their job, and it's a negative response to the motivation. And last we have the motivational problems, and there's 3 basic motivational problems. The first is the disbelief in relationship between effort and performance. The second is the disbelief in a relationship between performance and rewards. And the third is the lack of desire for the rewards offered. All 3 of these can lead to a negative effect of a manager trying to motivate their employees. If they're not motivated by the reward that comes out of what they must do, then the motivation's not going to work, because they're not going to be motivated to work for what they want, what they're getting. And the disbelief in the relationship between the effort and performance, if they believe that what they're doing isn't doing anything for the company, if it isn't increasing the performance of the company, or their job doesn't matter, then they're not going to be motivated for their job. And that wraps up the business news. Thank you.